Hey everyone, my name is Tori. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm doing a Q&A. I haven't done a Q&A in forever. I asked for questions on Instagram this time. A lot of my Q&As, all of the questions have come from YouTube because I was doing a Q&A series for a while, but today's questions are all from Instagram to give some new people an opportunity to ask questions. When I posted this, I did get a ton of questions, so I'm not going to be able to answer all of them because it's just, it's too much, but I'm going to try my best. Sorry if I look a little red. I'm not wearing like foundation or anything because it is actually 1:43 in the morning, and that was just not something I felt like doing. So I'm just gonna be pink today, but it's okay. So I'm just gonna filter through some of these questions and include some of the ones that I've been asked multiple times or that I find particularly relevant to my channel or that I don't remember answering in some of my older Q&As, stuff like that. So let's jump into it. Do you still use apple cider vinegar to help remove hedgehogs' dry skin flakes? If so, what technique? And it cut off. I'm assuming like what technique would you recommend is the rest of that question, I'm assuming. So I don't typically have to use apple cider vinegar anymore. Draco doesn't get dry skin as bad as he used to since switching his shampoo, and so I don't typically use it anymore. However, I do still recommend it. You can just add a little splash of it to their bath water. It depends on how much you're using, but like a tablespoon or two into like a normal level of bath water is more than enough. The acidity helps break down the dead skin cells on their backs, which can help the dead skin kind of slough off, which that sounds disgusting. I apologize, but that's just how it works. If they have chronic dry skin, you might want to address what is potentially causing it. Like, are you bathing too often? Is their shampoo too harsh? Is something in their environment causing it, like really low humidity? Is it seasonal? Stuff like that. But yes, I do still recommend apple cider vinegar. I just haven't had to use it myself in a while. Is it okay to feed a young hedgehog, only 4 months, the mature cat food from family? So yes, it is. I would free feed it because it is lower in fat. But at 4 months, your hedgehog is very close to being an adult. They're an adult at 6 months. So I would just free feed it from, you know, 4 months to roughly the 6-month mark. And then I would start reducing how much you feed to like a measured tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. But when they're younger, you can just free feed it. If you're finding they're not retaining enough weight, you can put them on something that's higher in fat. How do you cope with losing a pet? I actually want to do a video that's sort of on this topic. I don't have a lot of like coping suggestions. I found losing Blaze particularly hard. What I'd like to do a video on in the future is the fact that a lot of my pets are elderly right now, and I'm sort of having like a little bit of a crisis thinking about the fact that I believe over half of my animals are in like the elder stages of their life, and just sort of coming to terms with that. So I might touch on coping mechanisms more in that video than I will here, just because I'd really have to think about it. What is a reptile you want to get in the future? Ooh, so I would like a crested gecko, but my husband really wants a bearded dragon, so we'll probably end up with a bearded dragon before a crested gecko, but I don't know. But yeah, my husband desperately wants a bearded dragon, so that is inherently on my list as well, and a cresty is on my list. So yeah, I really like geckos. My Hedgie is terrified of baths and running water. Any advice on how to make him more comfortable? Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of advice. You can try not running the water while he's in it. You could bathe him in a separate bowl so that the faucet isn't running directly next to him. You can try bathing him more frequently, although you have to be careful with his skin that way, just so that he gets used to it. But there are a lot of hedgehogs that never get used to water and baths, and thankfully they don't typically need a ton of baths. I know some of them do, especially younger ones, but yeah, it's pretty normal for them to not like water. So if you can keep baths to a very short period of time, just get them in, get them out. That would be ideal if he doesn't get used to them just from exposure over time. What is your hardest pet to care for, and would their care put you off owning that pet again in the future? This is a really good question because actually it's my guinea pigs. My guinea pigs are by far the hardest for me to care for. They're the most maintenance, the most work, and I don't think I will get them again in the future. I'm not ruling it out because I love my pigs so much, but as a lot of you guys know, I have a lot of back issues. I've had health issues on and off this year, and the pigs have been by far the hardest for me to manage while also managing my own health and even my own mental health. So the pigs are definitely the hardest, and as of right now, I'm not planning on getting it anymore. I'm not ruling them out completely, like in the future, but I'm definitely ruling them out for the foreseeable future. How do I calm my hedgehog down so I can pet him? A lot of hedgehogs actually don't like being pet. They're more of like a sit with you type of animal, but I would recommend just keep trying. What tends to work with hedgehogs is repeat exposure, so you can't do something once a week and expect them to get used to it. You have to do it every day, fairly consistently. So if you remain consistent, there's a chance that they will get used to it, but hedgehogs aren't particularly fond of being pet to begin with. I will say the way you pet matters. Hedgehogs don't really like light touches. Like, I know some people are afraid of their quills and they'll kind of like poke them with their fingers. You want like a full hand stroke down their back, like a heavy hand, because the pressure feels better to them than like you being really hesitant and like, ooh, oh, that hurts. Like, it'll also hurt you a lot less to not stick your finger in a quill than it is to just go full hand down their back. It feels more confident to them, which in turn can make them feel safer. But yeah, good luck, because hedgehogs aren't always the most fond of being pet. Would you ever post a tenrec care guide? Debatable. Probably not one as in-depth as, say, some of the hedgehog care guides that I have posted, because hedgehog care I am fairly confident with. Tenrec care I find I'm constantly learning. There's still so much to be learned about keeping them in captivity. I'm in as many tenrec groups as I can possibly join so that I'm constantly learning. My care is very different now than it was when I first got Finn, and it's different than a lot of other people in the US, and so there's a lot that goes into tenrec care, and I would worry that if I posted a video on it that perhaps I'd be like misleading people. I don't really want people to take what I say about tenrecs as fact, because while, you know, I do my research and I've done a lot of work to make sure that I'm taking care of Finn correctly and making sure that he's healthy, I'm still learning about him. Like, there's not a lot of lesser tenrecs in the US, and a lot of the ones that are in the US are kept in zoos, and so yeah, that's a complicated one. I wouldn't say that I'll never post a tenrec care video, but I probably won't. How do you like having a leopard gecko now, and will you do a care video on him soon? No, I won't be doing a care video on leopard geckos because I've only had mine a couple months, and there are people that are way more experienced with Leos than me that should be doing care videos. I am not a voice for information when it comes to Leos. I'm still learning constantly. I ask Emily Rose a lot of questions and Pickles Pets a lot of questions, and yeah, I'm not well versed in Leos enough to tell other people how to care for theirs. I don't like to put out care videos for animals that I'm not really confident in their care. Would you ever own a snake? What kind? I have actually discussed this with my friends a couple times because I love snakes. I think they're beautiful. I think they're some of the most beautiful reptiles, like, period, overall. Gorgeous. But I know for a fact that I would probably have issues feeding snakes because at the end of the day, in my heart, I am a small mammal person. That's predominantly what I own. That's predominantly what I want in the future. I don't envision myself sort of like casually switching over to reptiles. Even though I have interest in reptiles, I don't envision it ever being my focus, but there are some snakes that I really, really love. Like, I love ball pythons. I think they have like the dopiest faces, and but I probably wouldn't own one because they have a tendency to be picky eaters. I really like Kenyan sand boas, but you never really see them. So I don't know, I've thought about it, but the whole feeding thing makes me a little bit weary, because I think I'd be okay feeding frozen thawed, but there is always the potential that a snake could like eventually refuse frozen thawed, and I don't know that I'm willing to put myself in that position. Don't know yet. Maybe one day, but not yet. Not something I can commit to. Oh, I get this question a lot. Do you plan on getting another hedgehog? Eventually, yes. I will be getting one eventually. I'm putting a lot of time and energy into Draco because Draco is getting older. He's getting cysts from getting older. Well, really the cysts are the only thing that's changed. He eats, sleeps, and poops as much as he ever did. But he is over 5 now, and he's elderly, and I just want to kind of focus on him for the time being. Plus I have 11 pets, and that's enough for me right now. Again, I mentioned earlier that a lot of my pets are elderly, so I potentially am looking at a lot of losses in my future, and I don't know if bringing in some newbies currently is a good idea. I'll probably wait until after I sort of deal with losing some of my elderly crew. So yeah, I do plan on getting another hedgehog, just not right this second. So that's everything I'm gonna cover in today's Q&A because there was a lot of questions. If you have more questions, feel free to leave them down below and maybe I'll answer some. And you can check out my past Q&As because I've answered a ton of the questions that I got in those Q&As. Also, I got a lot of questions about hedgehog care, and I have a whole hedgehog care playlist that covered most of the questions that I got about hedgehog care, so you can check that out. Oh, there was no animals in this one. Baby or Felix. There were no animals in this, so Bear is obligated to join momentarily to say goodbye because I always feel bad when I do a video and there's no animals in the video, and I'm a pet channel, and like I feel rude when there's no animals in an animal video. So although this was a Q&A, so is it an animal video? I don't know. But here, oh, big yawn. If you rub the sides of Bear's mouth, he yawns. It's very cute. That's not where they can see you. Come up here. Come on. Stand up. Don't lay on me. Oh, dear miss. Oh, good boy. Okay, so Felix's birthday is tomorrow at the time of, no, it's already your birthday when I'm filming this because I'm filming so late. Everyone tell Felix happy birthday down in the comments because he's 8 years old now. He's an old man. Are you old man? See, look at all that gray face. I got so much gray. Yes, I got so much gray. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to add because he's an old man now. Look at that. We go from no animals to both the dogs. This was a successful moment. Oh, look at this sucky baby face. Look at this sucky baby. Are you sucking up? You're just leaning so heavy on me and you just don't want to be here at all. Okay. Oh, I'll just cuddle Felix. Yeah, okay. Thank you. You can go. Okay, now I can say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.
We were young and we were free and running, never bothered about what could be coming. Every day we danced and life was smiling. We were young and drunk and